a huge thank you for everyone who's following, for everyone who's commenting and liking my videos. I had my first video go over 1,000 views the other day, which was phenomenal, and I hit over 100 subscribers, which seems very small compared to much larger channels, but I am absolutely over the moon. I didn't really expect that, to be honest. So thank you so much to everybody. You're really making this worthwhile, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it and getting something from it. And without further ado, we'll dive in. We're now starting with the E's. So today we have the Earth Elemental. Really like the look of this. The fact they've drawn it coming straight from the ground. You can see some claws here still emerging from the ground. Everything coming to this point here with this tiny glowing eyes. I love the hints of blue in the rock as well, quite striking against the browns. Earth Elemental. Primal spirit of soil and stone. Habitat, mountain, planar, elemental plane of earth, underdark. Primal spirits from the elemental plane of earth merge with rocks and minerals to form earth elementals. These beings possess powerful limbs and coarse features, sometimes studded with ore, gems, crystals, colourful striations, or living plants. On the material plane, earth elementals often serve those who conjure them, or they appear in regions influenced by their home plane, such as crystalline nodes, energetic fault lines, or veins of magical ore. Earth elementals effortlessly move through stone and can bring ruin to whole structures with their mighty fists. Earth elementals are typically made of more than dirt. While an elemental's composition doesn't change its statistics or have monetary value, it makes each elemental distinct. Roll on or choose a result from the Earth Elemental Compositions table to inspire an Earth Elemental's features. So here we have 1, colourful mineral formations, 2, cooled magma in melted heaps, 3, grass, moss or plant roots, 4, heaps of peat or decaying matter, 5, mounds of sand studded with shells, 6, rubble or pieces of a ruined structure, 7, striking striations or bands of colour, 8, veins of iron or other ore. A D8 for this one. Number 1, colourful mineral formations. The foundations of our homes, the strength of our weapons, the vaults of our greatest secrets. Earth is nothing less than the grip of reality itself. It is the mightiest element. This cannot be denied. Capral, the perfect compass, ruler of Tao. attacks using slam or rock launch in any combination. Slam, rock launch. Efreeti next. Another gorgeous piece of art and a gorgeous subject matter. I think this is a woman I would fall to my knees for, probably. Love the fire elements here. What looks like lava, liquid fire dripping from this red hot sword. The musculature here of her arms and her legs, and this gorgeous black dress almost seems fused to her skin here. Efreeti, genie of fire, habitat, desert, planar, elemental plane of fire. Efreet burn with the energy and unpredictability of fire. Their innate magic allows them to conjure flames from nothing and shape treasures within magical infernos. Many Efreet have wicked reputations, as their fickle natures and love for dramatic conflagrations can be destructive. Other Efreet delight in fire's beauty, be it the delicacy of a candle flame or the shared wonder of fireworks. These genies might aid mortals in exchange for treasures or the liberation of captive elementals. On many worlds, Efreet dwell in sweltering deserts and volcanic regions. Those that make their homes on the elemental plane of fire create incredible cities among seas of flame and molten minerals. Eclipsing all of these is the storied city of brass, a gleaming metropolis that is one of the most wondrous cities in the multiverse. Here, magic tempers the plane's extreme heat, making the city of brass a hub of trade between planes of existence. Imagine seas of platinum and liquid flame, the crimson pillar with fires hot enough to sear the gods, and the infinite delights of the city of brass. Now imagine what my master offers. And I am probably going to absolutely butcher this, but we're going to give it a go. The least that can happen is I'll give you a laugh. Veis Vexvein, Magma Method Herald. Efreeti, large elemental, genie, neutral. AC 17, HP 212, speed 40 feet, fly 60 feet, initiative +1. It scores here. Immunities, senses, languages, challenge rating, its traits, elemental restoration. If the Efreeti dies outside the elemental plane of fire, its body dissolves into ash, and it gains a new body in 1d4 days, reviving with all its hit points somewhere on the plane of fire. Magic resistance. The Efreeti has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical has none of the spell's stress. Once the Efreeti has cast it 3 times, the Efreeti can't do so again for 365 days. Actions: multi-attack. The Efreeti makes 3 attacks using Heated Blade or Hurl Flame in any combination. Heated Blade, melee attack roll, +10, reach 5 feet. Hit, 13 slashing damage, +13 fire damage. Hurl Flame, ranged attack roll, +8, range 120 feet. Hit, 24 fire damage. Spellcasting, at will, detect magic, elementalism, and once per day each, gaseous form, invisibility, major image, plane shift, tongs, wall of fire level 7 version. And here we have the Efreeti, this glorious crown up here, surrounded by fire, the sharp, very long nails, this muscular I mentioned earlier of her upper body, brandishing this glorious sword dripping in liquid fire, and this gorgeous black dress with its metal accents, just beautiful. Elemental cataclysm. This is just awesome. Incredible here. We've got fire over here. We've got water over here. We have some kind of electricity. Almost a tornado. And then over here, I would presume it would be an earth elemental. Looks quite rocky and green, with some kind of sludge here. We've got giant eagles carrying knights, trying to battle it. You can see it's bursting from the ground. Elemental cataclysm. The end and beginning of ages. Habitat, planar, elemental chaos. Beyond the fringes of the elemental planes, primordial forces endlessly clash amid the elemental chaos. Within the vastness and violence of this realm rage elemental cataclysms, entities spawned from the raw forces of the multiverse and awash in dissonant elemental powers. These beings of primal conflict annihilate nearly all they encounter and seed the ruins left in their wake with the potential for new creations. Elemental cataclysms rarely escape the elemental chaos. When they do, it is typically due to some planar disruption or the summons of nihilistic cultists. When they emerge on material plane worlds, elemental cataclysms create realm-altering trails of destruction, carelessly destroying cities and throwing whole nations into chaos. The rampages aren't random. Elemental cataclysms abhor anything that visibly mars nature fortresses or cities, but they vent their most intense rage on works of metal and clockwork. As they sow destruction, they howl condemnation and chant words of unmaking in the languages of the inner planes. Little can stop an elemental cataclysm. Those that oppose one of these calamities often attempt to reverse the ritual that summoned it, coax it through a planar rift, or conjure another titan in hopes that the two destroy one another. These terrors leave a wake of ashes, floods, storms, and broken earth. But after these disasters recede, the land is imbued with new life or environmental changes. Roll on or choose a result from the elemental alterations table to inspire what changes emerge after an elemental cataclysm's destruction. The elemental cataclysm leaves behind a Number 1, dramatic increase or decrease in temperature. 2, gigantic coral reef or fungal forest. 3, never-ending storm or whirlpool. 4, passage to the Underdark or portal to an elemental plane. 5, primeval or previously extinct animal population. 6, rapidly growing rainforest. 7, river where previously there was none. And 8, series of dramatic rock formations. Another D8 for this. A 4. Passage to the Underdark or portal to an elemental plane. Elemental cataclysm. Gargantuan elemental. Titan. Chaotic neutral. AC 20. HP 370. Speed 60 feet. Burrow 60 feet. Fly 80 feet. Swim 80 feet. No surprise that this one can do it all too. Initiative plus 18. Its scores here. Its immunities. What is quite frankly an endless list. Senses, languages, and challenge rating. Traits. Earth glide. The cataclysm can burrow through non-magical, unworked earth and stone. While doing so, the cataclysm doesn't disturb the material it moves through. Legendary resistance 4 per day. Siege monster. The cataclysm deals double damage to objects and structures. Multi-attack. Elemental burst. Melee or ranged attack roll plus 15. Reach 30 feet. Or range 150 feet. Hit 25 damage of a type chosen by the cataclysm. Acid, condition. Success, half damage only. Failure or success, the target's speed is reduced to 0 until the end of its next turn. Raging storm. A storm cloud fills a 60-foot radius sphere centered on a point the cataclysm can see within 150 feet. The cloud lasts for 1 minute, or until the cataclysm uses cataclysmic event again. Creatures entirely in the cloud have the blinded and deafened conditions, and can't cast spells with a verbal component. Dexterity saving throw DC 23. Each creature that enters the cloud for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there. Failure, 18 lightning damage plus 18 thunder damage. Success, half damage. Swallowing earth, strength saving throw DC 23. Each creature in a 90-foot cube originating from a point on the ground within 150 feet. Failure, 18 bludgeoning damage plus 18 acid damage, and the target has the prone condition and is buried under rubble. A buried target has the restrained condition, has total cover, and is suffocating. As an action, a buried creature or another creature within 5 feet of it can make a DC 18 strength check. On a successful check, the creature is no longer buried. Success, half damage only. Control weather. The cataclysm casts the control weather spell, requiring no spell components, and using Constitution as the spellcasting ability. Legendary actions. Eruption. The cataclysm makes 1 elemental burst attack. Rumbling movement. The cataclysm moves up to its speed, fly speed or swim speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Each creature within 5 feet of the cataclysm as it moves is targeted once by the following effect. Constitution saving throw DC 23. Failure, the target has the prone condition. Failure or success, the cataclysm can't take this action again until the start of its next turn. Quite a formidable beast, this one. Here we have the elemental cataclysm. We have the knights and the eagles desperately trying to battle it after it's erupted from the ground. Its massive upper body here erupting in its 4 heads. The water element over here swirling. The air or storm element here wrapped in lightning. Probably getting ready for some kind of breath attack here. The fire element, just quite a griffin-like head, an eagle-style head. And lastly, this thick earth element with its draping leaves, using its breath against this bird here. The Empyreans. Celestial and fiendish Empyreans observe the cosmos attended by its sigil like Empyrean iotas. I think it's quite clear who the fiendish Empyrean is, and who the celestial Empyrean is. I love the distinct differences. We have like the red fire-like hair here, and these glowing fire through the armour here. That's all spikes and sharp points. This weapon here as well, going red with its sharp points. And then over here the celestial with its purple, space-like light blues and pinks and purples. Its flowing white hair, and its armour still with points but more rounded. And its weapon here curved, and again with those soft arches. And the cosmos behind it. Such a gorgeous image. Empyreans, scions of the gods, habitat any. Empyreans are the spawn of deities. While not gods themselves, they possess divine influence and powers related to their divine parents. Some Empyreans are near demigods with fantastic might and the power to reshape mortal lives. Others are little more than divine thoughts or moments of immortal attention made manifest. Whether Empyreans are idealized beings or vestiges of divinity, their appearances are influenced by their creators. Roll on or choose a result from the Empyrean influences table to inspire what aspects of an Empyrean's heritage manifests in its physical form. The Empyrean has features that are 1. Balanced, naturalistic or suggestive of watching eyes. 2. Colourful, shadowy or fluid, or that vary depending on the viewer. 3. Comforting and gentle, or that remind viewers of pleasant memories. 4. Disconnected parts, visible thoughts or errant shapes. 5. Machine-like, stoic, symmetrical or suggestive of judgment. 6. Morbid, menacing or monstrous, or that embody the viewer's fears. D6 for this one. 3. Comforting and gentle, or that reminds viewers of pleasant memories. Empyrean iota. Empyrean iotas are the thoughts, memories, or indirect attentions of deities personified and given a measure of autonomy, resembling floating cliffs, motes of colour, icons of divinity, or stranger shapes. These beings are messengers of the gods and aids to the gods' servants. Iotas have their own knowledge and personalities, though they might know little more than the realms and wishes of their creators. Empyrean iota, medium celestial or fiend, titan, initiative +2. Its scores here. Skills, resistances, immunities, senses, languages, challenge rating, traits, incorporeal movement. The Empyrean can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. It takes 5 force damage if it ends its turn inside an object. Magic resistance. Actions. Otherworldly strike. Melee or ranged attack roll +5. Reach 5 feet or range 30 feet. Hit 7 necrotic or radiant damage. Empyrean's choice. Spellcasting. The Empyrean casts one of the following spells, requiring no material components and using wisdom as the spellcasting ability. Once per day each. Bless, lesser restoration, and bonus actions, healing word once per day. Empyrean. Inheritors of divine might, Empyreans are idealized, human-shaped beings of godly power. These beings might have relationships with their creators akin to those of parents and their children, royalty and their servants, inventors and their creations, or other bonds. Empyreans' existences are fundamentally influenced by their patrons and their connection to the heavenly deities of the upper planes, or the fiendish deities of the lower planes. Nevertheless, Empyreans have free will. Celestial Empyreans are typically noble beings who quest to prove themselves worthy of their divine pedigree. Many work in the service of their parents or support those gods' causes and champions. Fiendish Empyreans are usually dreadful, self-serving villains who seek to claim their parents' power. Some forge unholy armies or rule over hidden realms in mockery of true gods, while others might seek to escape their accursed families. One day I might be the god of storms, mind countless followers, answer prayers, change whole worlds. But until then, I do what I please. Kraboa, scion of storms. Empyrean, huge celestial or fiend. Titan, neutral. AC 22. HP 346. Speed 50 feet. Fly 50 feet. Swim 50 feet. Initiative +19. Its scores here. Skills. Resistances. Immunities. Senses. Languages. Challenge rating. Traits. Legendary resistance 4 per day. Magic resistance. Actions. Multi-attack. Sacred weapon. Melee attack roll. +17. Reach 10 feet. Hit plus 15, range 600 feet. Hit 35 necrotic or radiant damage, Empyrean's choice. Spellcasting. At will. Calm emotions. Greater restoration. Pass without trace. Water breathing. Once per day each. Commune. Dispel evil and good. Plane shift. Legendary actions. Bolster. The Empyrean gains 10 temporary hit points, and the Empyrean and each ally within 30 feet of it gain advantage on D20 tests until the end of the Empyrean's next turn. The Empyrean can't take this action again until the start of its next turn. Shockwave of Glory. Constitution saving throw DC 23. Each creature in a 30-foot emanation originating from the Empyrean. Failure. 27 force damage, and the target has the prone condition. Success. Half damage only. Failure or success. The Empyrean can't take this action again until the start of its next turn. Smite. The Empyrean makes one divine ray attack. Here we have the Empyreans. We have the Empyrean iotas around the outside amongst this swirling colour of the celestial sky. And then we have the fiendish Empyrean here. Its glowing long hair, its horns and spikes all through its armour, brandishing this formidable weapon. And then over here, the celestial Empyrean with her flowing white hair, this gorgeous crown on her head, and the much more subtle arm. There's less spikes, it's more curved and form-fitting, brandishing her curling weapon here. The Erinyes next. Looks quite formidable. Its fiery molten wings, its body and armour made of some kind of rock. I love the cracks running through it with this pinky red light coming through, even through its face. Erinyes, devil of vengeance and righteous wrath. Habitat, planar, 9 hells. Erinyes, also known as Furies, are winged devils clad in fiendish armour. These fallen angels exact a merciless form of divine justice, hunting down oath breakers and dragging the rightfully damned to the 9 hells in the grip of their magical ropes. Few ever glimpse what lies within these devils' armoured exteriors, and Erinyes ensure that those who do can never speak of what they've seen. Erinyes often serve archdevils and guard the order of the 9 hells against trespassers and escapees. Although they're prone to wrathful outbursts, Erinyes cooperate well with other devils. They sometimes hunt in trios with other Erinyes, forging infamous reputations for themselves. When not in the service of a diabolical master, Erinyes hunt wicked souls. They pursue quarries relentlessly across the multiverse and for ages if need be. While they might be summoned to serve evil magic users, Erinyes also listen for oaths and curses sworn in their names. In rare cases, wronged mortals who call out with just rage might be heard by an Erinyes who appears to take vengeance on their behalf. Once Erinyes are summoned, they won't leave without claiming the soul of either their quarry or the mortal who summoned them. Erinyes, medium fiend, devil, lawful evil. AC 18, HP 178, speed 30 feet, fly 60 feet, initiative +7. Its scores here. Skills, resistances, immunities, senses, languages, challenge rating, traits, diabolical restoration. If the Erinyes dies outside the 9 hells, its body disappears in sulphurous smoke, and it gains a new body instantly, reviving with all its hit points somewhere in the 9 hells. Magic resistance and magic rope. The Erinyes has a magic rope. While bearing it, the Erinyes can use the entangling rope action. The rope has AC 20, HP 90, and immunity to poison and psychic damage. The rope turns to dust if reduced to 0 hit points. If it is 5+ feet away from the Erinyes for 1 hour or more, or if the Erinyes dies. If the rope is damaged or destroyed, the Erinyes can fully restore it when finishing a short or long rest. Excuse me, I have such an itchy face. Actions: multi-attack, withering sword, melee attack roll +8, reach 5 feet, hit 13 slashing, damage +11 necrotic damage. Entangling rope, requires magic rope, strength saving throw DC 16. One creature that Erinyes can see within 120 feet. Failure, 14 force damage, and the target has the restrained condition until the rope is destroyed. The Erinyes uses a bonus action to release the target, or the Erinyes uses entangling rope again. Reactions: parry. Trigger: the Erinyes is hit by a melee attack roll while holding a weapon. Response: the Erinyes adds 4 to its AC against that attack, possibly causing it to miss. understand it isn't supposed to, but there is always something weirdly cute about monsters with big eyes and multiple of them. And its little pincers here, I know they're not little, and I know they're quite intimidating, and all this saliva dripping down, but just its face, there's just something oddly adorable about it. Though I'm sure this crow or raven here, and this being here, some kind of fey creature, don't agree with me. But its colour is really lovely. It's so odd, this blue with the purple at its joints. I'm sure if it was coming towards me, I'd probably faint. Starting in the wrong place again. Ettercap, venomous arachnid abductor. That is decidedly less cute. Habitat, forest. Spider-like hunters. Ettercaps lurk in forested depths and seek prey to drag into their web-choked lairs. These vicious predators have arachnid features and hunched bipedal frames, and they're notorious for their venomous bites and ability to shoot out webs to entrap their victims. Ettercaps often hunt in small groups alongside giant spiders and mundane spider swarms. I would like to revoke my earlier opinion that anything about this creature is cute or adorable. It's horrifying. But then I do have a particular dislike for spiders. Ettercaps frequently overhunt their environment. Left unchecked, ettercaps might fill whole woodlands with their webs and the cocooned remains of past meals, which puts ettercaps in conflict with fae. Spiteful ettercaps go out of their way to torment and feed on fae. They prefer to menace those smaller than themselves, like pixies and sprites. They rarely devour other sapient creatures swiftly, preferring to cocoon their captives and terrorize them for days. Ettercaps avoid fire, which can quickly burn through their webs and the dead trees where they make their homes. Ettercap, medium monstrosity, neutral evil. AC 13, HP 44, speed 30 feet, climb 30 feet, initiative +2. Its scores here. Skills, senses, languages, challenge rating. Its traits here. Spider climb. The Ettercap can climb difficult surfaces, including along ceilings, without needing to make an ability check. Web walker. The Ettercap ignores movement restrictions caused by webs, and the Ettercap knows the location of any other creature in contact with the same web. Multi-attack. Bite. Claw. Web strand. Recharge 5 to 6. Dexterity saving throw DC 12. One large or smaller creature the Ettercap can see within 30 feet. Fey restrained condition until the web is destroyed. AC 10, HP 5, vulnerability to fire damage, immunity to bludgeoning, poison, and psychic damage. And a bonus action. Real. The Ettercap pulls one creature within 30 feet of itself that is restrained by its web strand up to 25 feet straight toward itself. Our last monster for today, the Etin. This is oddly quite a fun image to me. You have this quite intimidating two-headed giant here, with its tusks, its fearsome features, the skulls hanging from it and the bones, and it's crushing some kind of apple cart and scaring the chickens. It's just slightly amusing. Etin, quarrelsome two-headed giant. Habitat, hill, mountain, underdark. Etins are physically powerful giants with two heads. While many Etins have features similar to hill giants, others have more bestial or unusual traits, such as tusks, short horns, or a single eye on each head. Etins frequently ally with other giants or groups that value their strength, such as hill giants, bandits, or ogres. Some Etins possess mystical ties to the lands they inhabit, and they might know or guard secrets valued by druids or fae. Each Etin head has a distinct personality. While this makes some Etins quarrelsome with themselves and others, many function as a team. An Etin head might have its own name, or both heads might refer to themselves as a single being, either with one name or a portmanteau of two. Roll on or choose a result from the Etin interactions table to inspire how an Etin's heads are interacting when the creature is encountered. The Etin's heads are 1. Amping up one another in preparation for a conflict or challenge. 2. Arguing over plans for battle, dinner, or how to spend the day. 3. Criticizing one another as they perform separate tasks. 4. Engaged in a staring contest. I love some of these. 5. Making polite small talk as if they were meeting for the first time. 6. Performatively ignoring one another. 7. Talking over an increasingly convoluted plot. And 8. Trying to keep one another awake. Basically, like having your sibling permanently with you. A D8 for our last one today. 7. Talking over an increasingly convoluted plot. 'Twice the malice, aggressiveness, and appetite. The Etin demonstrates that two heads aren't necessarily better than one. Bertrand, Inquisitor of the Mine initiative -1. It's scores here. Skills, immunities, gear, senses, languages, challenge rating, actions, multi-attack, battle axe, melee attack roll +7, reach 5 feet, hit 14 slashing damage. If the target is a larger or smaller creature, it has the prone condition. Morning Star, melee attack roll +7, reach 5 feet, hit 14, piercing damage, and the target has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn. That is the last one of the E's today. We'll move on to the F's next. Thank you once again for joining me, and another massive thank you to everyone who's following, viewing, staying with me, liking and commenting. I appreciate every single